Hey family, it's your favorite travel cousin, Kim the Globetrotting Girly, and I'm back because we are ready to head over to Kruger National Park for our 2-day safari. But before we even get there, let's have a little bit of room service, a little breakfast. We're going to close out our time at the Santon Sun that is in Johannesburg in the financial district. Just had a little bacon and an egg, some cranberry juice, had a little champagne, maybe a little mimosa, just a little something to get the day started. If you haven't been following my channel before now, I am taking an 11-day, 10-night excursion through South Africa. Our first stop was Johannesburg. We were only here for about a day and a half, and now we're headed on a 5-hour drive to Kruger National Park. My travel group and I decided that we wanted to see as much of South Africa as possible, but being on a safari was probably on the top of everyone's list, so we're actually going to do a 2-day safari. Our hotel is the Kruger Gate Hotel, and it's in Kruger National Park, so there is wildlife all around us, so we really wanted to immerse ourselves in this journey. And here you are along for the ride. I always like to compare what my experience is like, being an American traveling abroad. So I showed you just a video of a gas station that we stopped at, and now we stopped at this rest stop that was really interesting because it had like a smaller safari attached to it. Like it actually had animals there, like warthogs and impalas and water buffalo and everything else, and it also had a KFC. Now normally I would not stop at what I consider Americanized franchises or chains, but I wanted to just try it and see if it would compare, and it actually did compare. The prices were much cheaper, and to be honest, it wasn't much to write home about, but I thought I'd give it a try. It was pretty good. Interestingly enough, we would end up stopping here again. If you ever have a chance to stop at this rest stop, it's probably one of the best ones I have been to, mainly because it had this amazing store that was a lifesaver for me. At this store, I purchased some extra SD cards. I realized that the Wi-Fi at the last hotel that I was at, which was the Santon Sun in Johannesburg, wasn't like the fastest Wi-Fi in life, and so I had a hard time transferring files to clear off the SD cards, and I needed some extra SD cards, so I went here. Later on in the trip, we stopped here again, and I ended up getting me a sweatsuit. Why? Because it was so cold. You would never think that in South Africa it would be cold. I was always taught Africa was super, super hot. Maybe in other locations, maybe at a different time of year, but if you ever go in August, it is cold because it is still considered winter time in that part of South Africa until like mid to the end of September, and we went at the beginning to mid-August. Nonetheless, it was so clean. The people were so friendly. It had a few different options for food and coffee and things like that. They also had another building here. I cannot tell you what was in that other building. I had very little time to shop. I think they gave us 20 minutes to order food, to get souvenirs, to shop, and to look around. And when I tell you that my group and I struggled with timeliness this entire trip, we got better towards the end, but oh my God. I will tell you that this was absolutely worth it. This scenic route, also known as part of the Garden Route, which runs from one end of South Africa to the other. It wasn't really fully a part of our original plan. We were supposed to have gone to the Apartheid Museum on the Monday that we arrived into like Tuesday-ish. And unfortunately, the museum was closed, and so we had to make a decision about whether or not we were going to take that morning to go to the museum or take the garden route. And so the group decided on the garden route, and we headed to what's called the Blyde River Canyon, along with the Three Rondavels. Now, I am not a nature girly at all, but when I tell you I was truly in awe, I'm not lying to you. It was so scenic and so beautiful. If you're not familiar, the Blyde River Canyon is the third largest canyon in the world, second to the Grand Canyon and the Fish River Canyon in Namibia. It's actually one of the few canyons that's covered in greenery and is filled with different unique plants and animals, including species that you cannot find anywhere else. It's also a part of what's called the Panorama route, which includes stops like God's Window and Bourke's Lapa Potholes, which you'll see in a little bit. But along the way, someone saw my birthday girl pin, and I got a little turn around. I love it. Kim. Thank you.
Merci.
French?
No. Merci. That's it.
From Rhode Island.
Washington, D.C.
Your accent knows about
Yes, you
that.
can tell. Yes.
Yeah, I can tell about
It's
that.
boring there.
Yeah.
Much better here. Much better here. Thank you so much.
Good.
Thank you.
Bye-bye.
Thank you, you too.
When I tell you that everybody that I met along my journey in South Africa was just as sweet and just as amazing as these folks who were from Mauritius, I am not lying to you. I mean, it really warmed my heart. It really touched me, and I loved every minute of it. Another interesting fact, Blyde actually means joy. It comes from Dutch and Afrikaans. It means happy or joyful. Legend has it, it was named after an expedition that successfully reunited with their group that was at that location. And the Blyde River flows east, and it eventually joins to another river. I think it's called Alifants, the Alifants River, which makes its way into Kruger National Park, which is where we're going. So next up, we'll be heading to Bourke's Luck Potholes. And Bourke's Luck was actually named after a man named Tom Bourke. He was a prospector in the late 1800s who believed that he would strike gold there. And the funny part about it is he never actually struck gold, but the name did stick. Now, they say that the potholes were carved out over 1 million years ago or millions of years ago by these swirling whirlpools where the Kruger and the Blyde rivers meet. And so again, the rushing water and the sand literally drilled into the rock, leaving behind these giant, cylindrical looking formations. And the potholes are made of red and white sandstone, and so that's what you see, these different patterns. Again, they're still forming, they're constantly evolving. I don't know if I would have known this if I would have still gone, but nonetheless, the formations are not static. Like, they're continuously being reshaped even till today, even though it's been years since this has happened. Now, I will tell you, I did feel very safe. There's a bunch of pedestrian bridges and viewing platforms so that you can watch the rushing water. There were some people that actually took off their shoes and they were getting in the water. That wasn't going to be me. But overall, it was a very serene and peaceful vibe. There's a folklore that says that the swirling holes are spiritual, that they symbolize how nature's forces connect life, death, and rebirth. And some locals even believe that the water was sacred. Interesting. Next up, we are at Lisbon Falls. It is the tallest waterfall in Mpumalanga at 308 feet deep. And Lisbon Falls was named after these Portuguese settlers or miners in the late 1800s. They settled in this area during South Africa's gold rush. And many features nearby were the Lisbon Creek and the Berlin Falls. They were also named after European towns and capitals. And if you can imagine, not too far away, it was still a little bit of a drive. We came upon the Kruger Gate Hotel, which is where we would be staying for 2 days. Now, this hotel is on the banks of the Safari River and is less than 400 feet away from the actual entrance to the park. And what's interesting is there is a lot of wildlife around. They say that there are snakes, there are definitely baboons. You're going to see some in a few moments. There were these impalas. An elephant came up almost to the swimming pool. They said a lot of elephants come up there. Like, we're literally in the national park, so you could see anything. So they did have a gift shop. I did not have a chance to really tour it. This was the only time that I went into the gift shop because we were up so early, and then at night we were ready to kind of decompress and have dinner, and the shop closed early. Nonetheless, this hotel was remodeled in 2022, so it gives kind of like this lodge feel, treetop, walkway, forest surroundings. Like, I wanted something that was very authentic, and I love that it was Afrocentric as well. I just love the colors, the browns and the golds and the creams. And yes, I actually paid a few dollars extra to upgrade my room. You will see that in a few moments because I was like, y'all, when y'all see the room, you will understand. One of my travel partners, they decided not to upgrade their room, so you'll see their standard room as well, but then you'll see the upgraded room, and then they have chalets, or some people call them chalets, but they have chalets, and then they had a larger suite that could hold probably about 8 people or so. It's a good amount of people. I did tour the suite, but I did not have a chance to do the chalet, y'all. I was just too tired. That's going to be in another video, so you got to come back from that part. But After a grueling 5+ hour drive, we finally make it here and look across the top. Look to your right. Look at the baboon. Apparently, the baboons live in the trees above this hotel. That's what I was told. And they usually come out around between 5 and 5:30. And honey, did I not see them come out? Not this night, but the next night I went to go to the spa and open my door and there were nothing but baboons running outside my door. Scared me half to death. I closed the door back in a fury. I was like, I'm not even sure I planned. No. But I did it. I just prayed. So anyway, we just saw the standard room. It was just a quick tour. I didn't want to be too invasive on anybody else's privacy. And now we're headed to my room, which I believe is 409. We're going to be seeing it in a moment. Y'all, right here is where I saw this baboon in the middle of the walkway on my way to the spa, and it jumped up on top of the roof and it ran. Terrified. But when I tell you, I really had a good time here. I don't want this to sway you. Had an amazing time. So my room was the deluxe room, and I had seen it on the website, and I did see it in one TikTok video, and I was like, I absolutely have to have it. It was just right. I love an oversized room. I love to be able to not just, have one small space to just lay in the bed and watch TV. I love a good sitting area, and so you'll see that. It came with the standard amenities, so the ability to get your laundry done, hair dryer. You had a safe, you had an umbrella, plenty of storage. I never used any of these drawers because, again, we were only here for 2 days, but I love the way that this was laid out. I love this dual sink. I never use the tub anytime I travel, so I wasn't going to use the tub. Shower, amazing. Even though it was like this frameless shower type of feel, it's still, y'all, I really enjoyed myself. Now, we'll tell you this, something interesting. They do not have washcloths in the room. So if washcloths are your thing, and they are my thing, I mean, I have a different washcloth for my face than I have for my body and everything. So I like multiple washcloths. If washcloths are your thing, you do have to request them in advance. They do not come standard in the room. I don't know who is not washing themselves. If that is you, if you are a person who's not washing themselves with a washcloth, shame on you. This is a judge-free zone, but how are we washing? Nonetheless, let's get into dinner. We're getting ready to go to the Lapa Restaurant, but first we stop at the Shalova Bar. It's really cozy spot. They have indoor and outdoor spaces. As you can see, they have a bar. This was really what I consider the watering hole. This is where I would come. I didn't come here often, but to relax, to wind down, to just chill, because we were mainly only free in the evening time. Next, we're gonna walk through. You'll see an actual tour of the inside after dinner of the Kruger Restaurant, which is for breakfast only. Never got a chance to stop here because we were leaving for the safari at 5:30 in the morning, and so we didn't come back till after 3:30 in the afternoon, so never actually had a formal breakfast here, but we'll do a tour of that space in a little bit. Now, the Lapa Restaurant, we will visit more than once in this series because they do a traditional African dance on our last night here, and so I do want to share that later on. But something to know is that this restaurant is only available for dinner. It's an open air circular dining space with this fire pit, and I'm telling you, it is a true vibe. They even have a live performer come, and I want to share a little bit of his performance. I loved it. This traditional performer, we saw him more than once, but we were again really excited about. They do like live drumming and song and dance. They did that, not the drumming, but the song and the musical performance with the guitar. They did that multiple nights. We weren't there over the weekend when they do the drumming, but I'm sure it was a time. Now, we'll tell you that the Lapa Restaurant offers a 3-course buffet multiple times a week, and they have local specialties. I can't even tell you every single thing that I ate here, but It definitely included some ostrich. I did have some impala, lamb. When I tell you, this was probably some of the best food that I've ever had in general, culturally, because it was such a mixed bag. I really enjoyed myself. They had all different types of international cuisines and options, and that's what I really liked. It was just the options. And then you had like this cold section, which kind of had your like your salads and your cheeses, your ice cream, your cake, your guacamole, like your olives. It had so many options here. I was like, yo, it was so good. You'll see later on that they offered s'mores, so they would make s'mores on demand. Like some of them they did in advance, but just to have these nice ones. I had such a good time at this dinner. It was a great experience. I will tell you that overall this hotel is not all inclusive, so the buffet was included, but any drinks, whether they were alcoholic or non-alcoholic, you did pay for, but the desserts and the food were free. They also offered in-room dining. Again, I never really had a chance to do that option. We were just out all the time, y'all. This safari really took up the majority of our day, and I'm glad. Like, I came for the safari. Food is great, and the other options were great, but I know what I came for. You saw that they have a coffee shop that's at the entrance of the entire resort, and so that's open daily. You have a pool bar and what they consider a viewing deck. All of this you will see later. You won't see in this video. We're actually going to just take a quick walk after dinner to the spa area. The spas were so reasonably priced. I believe I got a 90-minute spa treatment for $62. Like, could not beat it. And it was amazing. We're going to get into that in a different video, but nonetheless, they have a good amount of activities. You'll see in a totally separate video. This won't be in the video, but they have mini golf. I want to say that they have, is it tennis as well? They have like a giant chessboard. They have a fitness center. I never saw the fitness center. The spa was really focused on the room and the spa. Those were my main foci. So I just wanted to take a moment, take in a little bit of the views, take in a little bit of the walk. I want to thank you in advance for stopping by to take this at least 5-hour trip with me. We're going to be coming back for the next 2 days. I'm going to combine it in one video as we do the 2-day safari in Kruger National Park. Again, super excited about sharing that with you because we actually saw the big 5 and then some. Like, it truly exceeded my expectations. I learned how to be more conscious and more thankful of my surroundings. You know, oftentimes, especially being American, you know, we think that we could do everything. I'm so used to getting out of the car and looking up close and then realizing that you need to just respect where you are, respect the land, respect the animals. It was just so humbling to be in their world, to be like ants, literally in their world. Oh, I had such a good time, y'all. I really did. But nonetheless, go ahead and get into these views as we go through the Kruger Restaurant. I hope I said that right. And then, walk into the spa and then having a nightcap. But you know what I always say to you? Like, share, subscribe, comment, come back for more. Don't be a stranger. And I promise I won't be either. I'll talk to you later. Have a great day and enjoy the rest. Bye.